After an MP from Arunachal Pradesh, Tapin Gao, accused China's PLA of abducting a 17-year-old boy from the Indian side in Arunachal Pradesh's Upper Siang district, the Pasighat West MLA Ninong Ering has also called for a safe return of the Indian youth allegedly abducted by the Chinese army. Shivani Sharma is on the phone line with us. Shivani, good morning. Give us more details of what happened. We also understand that this is not a one-off incident. Incident like this one have been reported in the past as well.
No, but this particular incident took place on Tuesday, where the 17-year-old boy, Miram Tarun, he is from the Zido village. The Zido village is at a place where the Tanpo River enters India and Arunachal Pradesh, and he has been abducted by the PLA. That's what the MP has informed. And one of his friends, he gave a phone call and informed. This phone was from Zido, and he told how this boy has been abducted from Indian territory in Arunachal Pradesh. And there have been strong reactions onto this action of PLA. And his friend has escaped from the PLA and reported to the authorities. Now there are demands for the safe release of this 17-year-old boy. And earlier also, the particular MP, Mr. Gao, had tweeted that the Chinese PLA has been trying to make its claim in this particular area, especially in Arunachal Pradesh inside India's territory, and it had built a road also in India in 2018 near the Bishing village. And once more, this kind of an incident is just not acceptable. What the authorities are also doing into it, that they are trying to get this boy back and trying to investigate into the matter, how this happened. And the reactions are also now coming in, and they say the leaders also, they say that they have been doing it. They have been troubling the people living in that particular area, and this is quite unfortunate that the people from China are trying to infiltrate the Indian borders, and then the people from India are not feeling safe in that particular
Absolutely. Just stay with us, Shivani. Let's actually listen in to what the Pasighat West MLA Ninong Ering has said.
गंभीर एक समस्या आ गया हमारा अरुणाचल में फिर से। ये हमारे चीन के जो पीएलए के जो फौज है वो हमारे बिसिंग एरिया है, हम इसको कहते हैं, ये सिंगला लुंगता जोर जिसको कहते हैं, सिंगला लुंगता जोर, यहाँ ये पिछले बार भी वो आए थे और जो अपना रास्ता जो है वो पूरा हमारा भारत के जो सीमा को पार करके वो अंदर वो रास्ता बनाए थे। और यही बच्चे थे जो उनसे भिड़कर जो हमारे चीन के जो कंस्ट्रक्शन एजेंसी सबको भगा दिया। अभी हमने सुना है कि एक मीराम तारन 17 साल का बच्चा था और उसका दोस्त था जोंगी लाइन। तो ये दोनों जीरो एरिया के, जीरो जो है हमारा जो तूतिंग जो हमारे हेडक्वार्टर है, एडीसी हेडक्वार्टर, उसके जस्ट बगल में ही है, और सियांग नदी के जस्ट उस पार में। तो अभी हम सुना है कि ये जो पीएलए लोग थे उनको हमारे अरुणाचल एरिया में सिंगला लुंगता जोर एरिया में आके उन्होंने वो लड़का को वो हड़प लिया है। और हमने सुना है कि जो वहाँ के जिला परिषद मेंबर है पेमा लेप्ची ने उनको एक फेसबुक में देखा, और उसी फेसबुक से मैंने देखा कि हमारे जो ये लड़का है उनको वो किडनैप किया गया है। तो बहुत ही अनफॉर्चुनेट बात है कि हमारे अरुणाचल में अभी भी चीन के लोग घुसपैठी कर रहे हैं।
Well, Colonel Arasan Singh is on the phone line with us. Good morning, Colonel Singh. Thank you for speaking to us on Republic. Colonel Singh, as we were hearing Ninong Ering over there talking, he says that this is a common occurrence where the Chinese PLA actually crosses over and abducts youth. Give us a sense of, how this happens. And obviously in that area, because it is marked by high mountains, there are really no clear demarcations.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know that the Indo-China border is not demarcated. In that area, there is the McMahon line, which the Chinese have never recognized. So when the border is not demarcated, there is always a possibility of people inadvertently getting into the other side. But what has to be ascertained that whether it's a hostile act or not. If it has happened inadvertently, then it's altogether a different matter. But if it is a hostile act, then obviously then we will have to do something about it. And it cuts both ways.
Right. Absolutely.
If it is a hostile act, then it cuts both ways. And remember one thing, that's not Chinese territory. The territory belongs to Tibetans. So if there is any inadvertent crossings, crossing that side, there is cultural affinity also between Tibetans this side and the people of Arunachal. So that is also another factor. Let's not bring in. I don't know. The country must understand that the PLA is not necessarily Tibetans.
Absolutely.
I mean, they are yellow Chinese, from the yellow area, or should I say the Han people who are there. So the moment you say Chinese, your perception is different. But when you say it's a Tibetan area, yes, there is cultural affinity, there is racial affinity. Huh?
Right, absolutely. Colonel Singh, as you're pointing out, obviously we'll have to wait for these details to come out. But for the moment, thank you very much for joining us. Now, let's also bring in Crispino, who's joining us from the digital desk. Crispino, I'm going to come to you in just a bit, but Mr. Ehring is with us on the show. Good morning, Mr. Ehring. Thank you very much for speaking to us on Republic. To begin with, can you give us details of what really happened?
Good morning. I have already spoken in that media clip that I sent that this is it was a Facebook message which I saw. Then I spoke to the Honorable Minister who is the MLA of that Tuting and Yingkiong area, and also I spoke to the SP last night. What was the condition of that? So the other boy, Johnny Pang, had came back and he informed the authorities also, like it has always been done. Last time also, I'll tell you, the actual on the ground. This is the last point of India. On the eastern side is Bising and on the western side is Geling. In between is the Sangpo, which is known as Siang in Arunachal Pradesh, and then down in Assam it is known as Brahmaputra. Now here what happened, these boys had gone, usually our boys, they are very adventurous. So they go across the border, they're not exactly on the Chinese side, but there is LAC and there is also the McMahon line. So it is very much within us because last time also in the same place, this is Sungla Lungta Jor, where the Chinese had intruded into us. They had constructed a road. For that reason, the boys had gone and obstructed it. They chased away the Chinese contractors and all. So this is very unfortunate because today is 50 years of our governance. Imagine 50 years we are India. Before it was in the external affairs business, but later it came into the home ministry. And now we are a complete state. We have got representatives like Mr. Tapirga, Nabam Bribia, and Mr. Kiran Rijiju, who is the Union Minister of Law and Justice. So how come these Chinese come across the border and arrest our boys?
Right.
Frankly speaking, our boys, they go for, get some herbs and all, like say, Kaptistita and Mismitita it is called. So these kinds of herbs and all, they just go and collect sometimes. Then like the Paris kind of plant is there. So that is the reason the boys go there. They don't go there for doing anything else. But the Chinese just saying that, no, they are spies or they are coming. But just across the border is Sirang village, that is in China. So, but this is where the major dam they are going to make. So I think the Chinese don't want any of us going that side to see their, whatever they're doing. But frankly speaking, that is completely in Arunachal. So we are really condemn this, and our people are very much angry that such kinds of incidents take place across the border.
Right. Mr. Ehring, before I let you go, one final question. You're saying that this has happened before. It is not the first time. The PLA perhaps is involved. Can you detail that aspect of it, please?
Yes, the PLA has now strengthened the forces there. They are building up infrastructure. They are making roads. Like I told you that even the super fast train that they made from Lhasa to Yangtze. So this itself shows that they are, propagating. They are, in fact, the Han Chinese are being placed across the. The armies are also being strengthened on both sides. So we have to strengthen ourselves. If not, then I think Chinese has some very adverse plans.
Absolutely. Mr. Ering, thank you very much for speaking to us on Republic TV. So Mr. Ninong Ering, who has, of course, highlighted this issue, once again joining us on the broadcast. Thank you. Well, as we've been pointing out, of course, the Arunachal MLA Ninong Ering, he's called for the safe return of the abducted youth. Now, also going on